Print, email, Facebook, Twitter. More urban explorers refuse to let history die as they delve into dilapidated buildings. It is like a plot out of a choose your own adventure novel. Go past an abandoned, run-down, dilapidated building. Do you enter or not? Passionate, daredevil inquisitives in the urban urbex exploration movement would say, yes, absolutely. Urbex is a worldwide phenomenon where everyday people from all walks of life unite in their passion for exploring rundown buildings. They enter the properties and document what they see, with the goal of preserving a building's history before it falls to developers. The buildings include old schools, orphanages, factories or tram yards, and often they have already fallen prey to squatters, graffiti and copious amounts of animal poo. But these explorers are determined not to let the memories from within the walls crumble in the way the dilapidated shell around them has. It is a movement gaining momentum online, with some social media groups attracting more than 20,000 followers. Intrigue and beauty part of the appeal. Sydney-based explorer and photographer Tim Frawley said he was attracted to a site for its dirty, grimy beauty and sharing that vision to people who ordinarily would see it as an eyesore. Whether it's the walls covered in colourful graffiti or the old paint peeling off the walls, I find these places have a different kind of intrigue and beauty than that of fancy buildings or stunning landscapes, he said. Each place has its own story and history which can add to the interest of a place. Over the past 7 years, Mr. Frawley has documented Australian and international sites on his blog, including Chernobyl. He rates each location on access, security, interest and danger. He said it was natural curiosity that had first lured him in. I lived near a place that had been abandoned for years and the graffiti in there was always changing, so I went there once a month just to check it out and take photos, Mr. Frawley said. Then I met some people there and they told me about some other cool places to check out and it went from there. He said for him, it was about capturing a structure at that exact point in time. One of the reasons I love documenting such places is because a lot of them are in the crosshairs of developers nowadays and ready to be torn down, so getting in there and capturing places before they are torn down is pretty cool. That also appealed to Craig, surname withheld, from Brisbane, who was inspired by international groups to join the urbex movement and share the adventures on his Devil's Donuts social media pages. There's a lot of development been going around and people are saying, oh well, that used to be my house and now it's units, so it's good to go out and capture houses that are there and soon won't be, he said. You mainly find that they're overgrown. Most of the time vandals have been there, but you just need to know what you're looking for. That applies to properties that are safe enough to go into. Safety and secrecy vital at the crux of such exploration. Safety is paramount. Many decrepit buildings are death traps. Mr. Frawley said it was not a hobby for the careless or faint-hearted. Whether it is broken glass and rusty objects, asbestos or buildings that are decaying over years of neglect and have to be navigated carefully, he said. All it takes is to step on one old piece of floor or climb up one rusted ladder and you could fall down several floors. Both men agreed common sense needed to prevail. I found 2 houses and there was no way I was going to go in there. I did document it from the outside and the yard, but there was no way I was going to go inside. It was just too dangerous, Craig said. You don't just run into a house that's got no floors. Another precaution is not disclosing a property's exact address. On the forums, people don't give out locations, just to keep the vandals away and preserve it as much as they can, Craig said. Mr. Frawley agreed. If the locations are made totally public, it attracts vandals and people who want to go to these places for all the wrong reasons, he said. These places are beautiful in their own way because they aren't seen by everyone, and are something fresh and different to what we see in most of our day-to-day lives. Are explorers breaking the law? While urban explorers may not enter properties that are fenced off, signed keep out or marked as private property, are they breaking the law? University of the Sunshine Coast Law School head Pam O'Connor said when a premises was derelict, a successful conviction against people entering would be difficult. She said it was a punishable offence with fines of up to $2,500 applying to enter and remain in and around a dwelling, or premises used for business and farms, even if there was no intent to commit a criminal act. But at the crux of any potential offence is the characterization of the premises. If something is derelict and might have once been used as a dwelling and has long ceased to be and is no longer fit to be, arguably that's not an offence of entering and remaining in a dwelling, Professor O'Connor said. If it's a long abandoned house, and they're able to enter without doing any damage. There's no sign forbidding people from entering the property, and they have no intent of committing any crime while on the premises. They're simply photographing or noting what they see. It may be that no offense is committed. Professor O'Connor said it could be considered burglary or break and enter if a person was to enter a property with the intent to commit a crime. Media player, space to play, M to mute, left and right to seek. 00:0005:0900:0005:09